Okay, good morning, students. So let us resume our discussion on the text of Othello. We discussed the first scene of the opening scene of the play, and we noted the significance of the opening play, in what way it entices us to look forward to the action of the play and to see what unfolds in the remaining part of the play. So it is thus that we reached the second scene where, for the first time, we saw uh, the hero or the protagonist, Othello, and we found how contrasting a picture he gave us when he appeared compared to the image that was painted in the first scene by Iago, Roderigo, and even Brabantio. So, expecting as we were to see a dark, heathenish, barbaric kind of character whose only interests in life seem to be, certain vulgar deeds as described by the other characters, Iago and Rodrigo in particular. We find somebody who is, in all majesty, very much in control of the situation, a person of great confidence and great maturity. He does not get easily swayed by the taunts of the others. He does not get affected or influenced by uh, what others try to make him do, which is what we are going to see now in this scene. I'll make the presentation for you of the text so that it's easier for you to follow. Yeah. So, with Othello's brief remark, it is better as it is, he says. And then Iago's trying to manipulate him further, provoke him further. Nay, but he prated and spoke such scurvy and provoking terms against your honor that with a little godliness I have, I did full hard forbear him. He says he is finding it so difficult to put up with the kind of bad words that were being spoken um, by I think the others. I think he's referring to Rodrigo. Yeah, Rodrigo. And he says, it was very difficult for me to listen to the kind of bad words that he was speaking about you. And therefore, I pray you, sir, are you fast married? Be assured of this, that the Magnifico is much beloved and hath in his effect a voice potential as double as the Duke's. Now, the Magnifico, or the gentleman, the senator, or the important personality mentioned there is, of course, Brabantio. And Iago actually wants to learn the truth about the finalization or the consummation of Othello's marriage. Are you fast married? Is your marriage consummated, or have you, got yourself legally or officially married? He says, I want you to be sure of this, because this man, her father, has a voice that is as powerful, in fact, more powerful than that of the Duke in Venice, being a very senior person. Brabantio is much respected. He will divorce you or put you upon what restraint or grievance the law, with all his might to enforce it on, will give him cable. So he will divorce you. He will ensure the fact that you are separated from his daughter, and take all kinds of legal action against you with whatever authority or power, cable he has. But here again, Othello is not swayed. He does not get provoked, nor does he get angry or ruffled. Let him do his fight. Let him do whatever he wants to, because he is more sure about the services that he has been rendering the city of, or the kingdom of Venice, and he's sure that the Duke of Venice cannot easily, punish Othello for an act like this of marriage. My services, which have done the Signori, shall out-tongue his complaints. That speaks louder than any complaint that anybody may raise against me. It is yet to know which, when I know that boasting is an honor, I shall promulgate. He says, it's not in my nature to boast, and therefore I will not speak too much about me. I fetch my life and being from men of royal siege, and my demerits may speak unbonneted to as proud a fortune as this that I have reached. So he's very sure about, the lineage that he comes from. He belongs to a noble lineage. For no, Iago, but that I love the gentle Desdemona, I would not my unhoused free condition put into circumscription and confine for the sea's worth. So it is because of love that I have, got married to, or married the gentle, the beautiful Desdemona. Otherwise, do you think that I would put, my free condition into conscription? Do you think that I would restrain my freedom as a free man, as a sailor, as a captain of the army, as a general of the army, as a bachelor, by getting into this kind of a marriage? It's not, he makes his love for Desdemona amply clear. But look, what lights come beyond? Yeah, and Iago knows who they are, the raised father, the father and his friends who have been awoken and who now have come in search of Othello. And, he again tries to tell Othello, it is best that you go in, you are best to go in. That is the kind of sly character that Iago is. But Othello, in total contrast, is a person who does not have any such fear. And he says, no, why should I go into hiding? I must be found. My parts, my title, and my perfect soul shall manifest me rightly. So I am what I am, unlike Iago, who said, I'm not what I am. Is it them? Yes, by Janus. I think no, by Janus. Again, look at the person by whom he swears. Iago keeps swearing by all kinds of, we saw him referring to God's wounds and so on, instead of swearing by God himself. Here again, he swears by Janus. Janus, it's a remark that probably comes very spontaneously from him, but that also conveys much to us about Iago. Janus is, of course, the Roman god of doors, the one who has two sides, two phases, this side, and that's two phases. And, the double-sided nature of Iago, the duplicity of Iago, is revealed in almost every line of his. And it's therefore not the father of Desdemona, not Brabantio and his men, but others who come, and they are Cassio and other officers, the servants of the Duke and my lieutenant, the goodness of the night upon your friends. What is the news? So Othello's other surprised to see Cassio, and Cassio has come with the news that the Duke wants Othello to be in the Senate House at the earliest, post haste appearance, even on the instance. And obviously it means that there's something afoot. What is the matter, think you? And Cassio says, it is something to do with our business in Cyprus. As I might divine, it is a business of some heat, some urgency. The galleys have sent a dozen sequent messengers this very night at one another's heel. So they've got a lot of messengers, one after the other, from the vessels on the sea, from the ships on the sea. And many of the councils raised and met are at the Duke's already. So it's an important matter that they have to discuss. You've been hotly called for when, being not at your lodging to be found, the Senate had sent about 3 several quests to search you out. So that again conveys to us the importance of Othello. 3 different search parties have gone in search for him when he was not found at his dwelling. It is well, I'm found by you. I will but spend a word here at the house and go with you. So he goes inside in order to inform Desdemona that he'll be away for some time to meet the Duke. And Cassio is rather surprised to find Othello there. And he asks Iago, ancient, what makes he here? And Iago says, faith, he tonight had boarded a land carrack. If it prove lawful prize, he is made forever. Again, referring to the alliance of Cassio and Othello and Desdemona, but using the image of a land carrack, something that is loaded with rich goods. He has boarded a land carack. If it is lawful, then he is made forever. Again, it does not concern him at all that Othello has married Desdemona out of love, as Othello has only confessed a few minutes back. He is more concerned about the fact that Othello, the black man, has married a rich, white Christian heiress, and that he might soon become immensely rich. And this is definitely not something that makes Iago very happy. So Cassio is, unable to understand what he refers to, and Iago enlightens him that he is married, but before he could tell him who the wife is, re-enter Othello, and then you have Brabantio, Rodrigo, and the others coming there. It is Brabantio, General. He comes to bad intent, so with some bad intention. Holla, stand there. Senior, it is a Moor. Down with him, thief, says Brabantio, and they are out. He gets his soldiers to draw their swords and to attack Othello. But again, look at the way Othello reacts to that. Keep up your bright swords, for the dew will rust them. He does not get agitated. He does not tremble in fear. Very calmly, he says, you may simply put your swords back in their sheaths. Otherwise, the night air or the dew will cause them to rust. You are in no way going to hurt me. Good senior, you shall more command with yours than with your weapon. So you just have to bid me any command. And because of the great respect I have for you as a very senior member of Venice, I will listen to it. You do not have to get your men to take their weapons out. Whatever you tell me, I will do. But Brabantio is trembling with anger. Oh, thou foul thief, where hast thou stowed my daughter? Damned as thou art, thou hast enchanted her, for I'll refer me to all things of sense if she in chains of magic were not bound. This again is very much in keeping with the European or the white Western way of looking at the East as East, and anything that is not part of their own world as strange, as mysterious, as something connected with black magic, and all things unsafe. And that is why he's sure that Othello has enchanted Desdemona with some kind of black magic. Otherwise, how would she fall for you? Whether a maid so tender, fair, and happy, so opposite to marriage that she shunned the wealthy, curled darlings of our nation. She kept rejecting all the eminent bachelors who came to woo her. And she, to think that this girl who was so against the very idea of marriage should fall for you, would ever have to incur a general mob, run from her guardage to the sooty bosom of such a thing as thou. The sooty bosom, again, it's the soot-filled or the dark bosom or the body of Othello that is the prime concern for Brabantio. And he calls him a thing as you, not even a human being. To fear, not to delight. Somebody who inspires more fear and not a sense of delight. Judge me the world, if it is not gross in sense that thou hast practiced on her with foul charms, abused her delicate youth with drudge or minerals, that weakens motion. So he's sure that he's used some magical potions, foul charms, and so on to enchant her. I'll have it disputed on. 'Tis probable and palpable to thinking, I therefore apprehend and do attach thee for an abuser of the world, a practicer of arts inhibited and out of warrant. So he will now charge Othello with performing black magic, which was at that time banned in these Christian kingdoms. So on that charge, I will now summon you to the parliament. Lay hold upon him. If he do resist, subdue him at his will. So arrest him, and if he resists, you may subdue him. Again, Othello, hold your hands, both of you, of my inclining and the rest. Were it my cue to fight, I should have known it without a prompter. Whither will you that I go to answer this, your charge? So tell me, where do I have to go to answer this charge of yours? To prison, till fit time of law and cause of direct session, call thee to answer. What if I do obey? How may the Duke be therewith satisfied, whose messengers are here about my side upon some present business of the state to bring me to him. So I'll, without any hesitation, come to the prison. But then how do I answer the Duke, who has now sent 3 separate search parties in search of me on some urgent business? And the officer informs Brabantio that it is indeed true. And the Brabantio himself, being even though he's such a senior member of the Senate, did not know about the Duke in council at this time of the night. Bring him away. Mine is not an ideal cause, but he's sure that his cause will also be considered with due seriousness by the Duke, even if there is some other important state affair that has made him summon Othello in the middle of the night. The Duke himself or any of my brothers of the state cannot but feel this wrong as it were their own. For if such actions may have passage free, bond slaves and pagans shall our statesmen be. So this is what troubles him. He says, I'm sure the Duke will listen to my problem, because this is a problem that affects everyone. If we do allow such things to continue unrestricted, very soon we will only have bond slaves and pagans, heathens and uncivilized people like Othello himself as our statesmen, as the people of our city. In other words, they should not allow these kind of interracial marriages to take place. That is what he is absolutely sure about, and they exit. You will notice that, at the end of each scene, you would have the rhyming couplet. Till then, you have lines of iambic pentameter which do not rhyme, the blank verse. But the last 2 lines in every scene will indicate the end of the scene. That is how they would convey to the audience that the scene ended there, and then they are going to move to some other scene. So free and be rhyme, and that is the end of the second scene. We will now see the third scene in the Duke's chamber. Let me try to, yeah, I think I have the audio. I'll just try to present that to you. But you don't have a text, right? Yeah. But anyway, listen to it for some time, and then we'll come back to the text. Okay. Instead of listening to me, you can listen to the text. The audio. Just a second. I will switch off my mic so that you can hear the other part clearly.
My letters say 107 galleys.
And mine 200. But though they jump not on a just account, as in these cases where the aim reports, 'tis oft with difference. Yet do they all confirm a Turkish fleet, and bearing up to Cyprus.
A messenger from the galleys.
Now, what's the business?
The Turkish preparation makes for roads, so as I bid report here to the state.
How say you by this change?
This cannot be. By no assay of reason, 'tis a pageant, to keep us in false gaze.
Nay, in all confidence, he's not for roads.
Here is more news.
The Ottomites, reverend and gracious, steering with due course towards the Isle of Rhodes, have there enjointed them with an after fleet
Aye, so I thought. How many, as you guess?
of 30 sail. And now they do restem their backward course, bearing with frank appearance their purposes towards Cyprus. Signor Montano, your trusty and most valiant servitor, with his free duty recommends you thus, and prays you to relieve him.
'Tis certain then for Cyprus. Marcus Lussicus, is not he in town?
He's now in Florence.
Write from us to him, post haste, dispatch.
Here comes the valiant Moor.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle signor. We lacked your counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours. Good your grace, pardon me. Neither my place, nor aught I heard of business, hath raised me from my bed, nor doth the general care take hold on me, for my particular grief is of so floodgate and all-bearing nature that it engluts and swallows other sorrows.
Why, what's the matter?
My daughter, oh, my daughter!
Dead?
Die to me! She is abused, stolen from me, and corrupted by spells and medicines bought of mountebanks. For nature so preposterously to err, being not deficient, blind, nor lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Whoe'er he be, that in this foul proceeding hath thus beguiled your daughter of herself, and you of her, The bloody book of law you shall yourself read in the bitter letter after your own sense. Yea, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank your grace. Here is the man, this Moor. And now it seems your special mandate for the state affairs has hither brought.
We are very sorry for it.
What in your own part can you say to this?
Nothing but this is so.
Most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved good masters. That I have ta'en away this old man's daughter, it is most true. True, I have married her. The very head and front of my offending hath this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine had 7 years, pith till now some 9 moons wasted, they have used their dearest action in the tented field, and little of this great world can I speak, more than pertains to feats of broil and battle, and therefore little shall I grace my cause in speaking for myself. Yet, by your gracious patience, I will a round, unvarnished tale deliver of my whole course of love. What drugs, what charms, what conjuration, and or what mighty magic. For such proceeding I am charged with all. I won his daughter.
A maiden never bold, of spirit so still and quiet that her motion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature, of years of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. I therefore vouch again, or with some mixtures powerful o'er the blood, or with some dram conjured to that effect, he wrought upon her.
To vouch this is no proof.
But Othello, speak. Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue and poison this young maid's affections? Or came it by request? And such fair question as soul to soul afforded.
I do beseech you, send for the lady to the sagittary, and let her speak of me before her father.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Ancient, conduct them, you know best the place. Until she come, as faithful as to heaven I do confess the vices of my blood, so justly to your grave ears I'll present how I did thrive in this fair lady's love, and she in mine.
Say on, Othello.
Her father loved me, oft invited me, still questioned me the story of my life. From year to year, the battles, sieges, fortunes that I have passed, I ran it through, even from my boyish days to the very moment that he bade me tell it, wherein I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents by flood and field, of hairbreadth scapes in the imminent deadly breach, of being taken by the insolent foe and sold to slavery. Of my redemption thence and portents in my travellous history, wherein of antrins vast and deserts idle, rough quarries, rocks and hills whose heads touched heaven, it was my hint to speak. Such was the process. And of the cannibals that each other eat, the anthropophagi, and men whose heads do grow beneath their shoulders, this to hear, would Desdemona seriously incline. But still the house affairs would draw her thence, whichever as she could with haste dispatch, she'd come again, and with a greedy ear devour up my discourse. My story being done, she gave me for my pains a world of sighs. She swore, in faith 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wondrous pitiful. She wished she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She loved me for the dangers I had passed, and I loved her that she did pity them. This only is the witchcraft I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her.
Okay, so we see now Othello in the Duke's chamber, and the Duke, very directly asks Othello, what do you have to say in your favor? When Brabantio, rouses a great deal of commotion in the chamber and does not allow the Duke to discuss the more important matters of the state, which we are sure, at the beginning of the scene, we heard the officers coming in one after the other with messengers from the galleys, from the vessels and the ships on the sea, saying that, there is urgent business out there and we need to send our army to protect our coast. But Brabantio, being the senior person that he is, the Duke could not easily ignore him, and that is why he asked Othello, what do you have to say in your defense? And Othello has nothing else to say other than the fact that I love Desdemona, and that is why I married her. I have not used any charms or any magical potions or any kind of black magic to woo her. And then he tells us, or he takes us to his relationship with Desdemona and how it developed. We realize that Brabantio himself did not have, had not too small a part in it, because Brabantio would often invite Othello home to hear about his exploits. And then Othello would describe all the grand exploits, the adventures that he had met as a soldier. The different lands, the different kinds of people, the different cultures. What Shakespeare is doing there is making Othello speak the kind of things that Shakespeare himself would have heard from the Elizabethan seafarers, who would come back with different kinds of fantastic tales, the travelers' tales about different lands, different cultures, different climates, different civilizations, and so on. And that is exactly what Othello had charmed Desdemona and Brabantio with. Hearing which, she just would come to listen to his stories more and more, setting aside all other work, that she had to attend to at home. And that is how she just fell for his stories. And the Duke's response to all that is quite interesting. He says, well, if I had listened to these stories, I myself would have fallen for this person. So brave, so heroic is he. I think, we'll just listen to that part. And then Desdemona herself comes there, and we will listen to her side of the story too. We'll play for just 5 minutes more, okay?
Witness it.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Brabantio, take up this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather use than their bare hands.
Come hither, gentle mistress. Do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the lord of duty, and I am hitherto your daughter. But here's my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father. So much I challenge that I may profess due to them more, my lord.
God be with you. I have done. Please it your grace, on to the state affairs. I had rather to adopt a child than get it. Come hither, Moor. I here do give thee that with all my heart, which but thou hast already with all my heart I would keep from thee. For your sake, jewel. I'm glad at soul I have no other child. For your escape would teach me tyranny to hang clogs on 'em. I've done, my lord.
Let me...
So Desdemona has come, and she says it is indeed a divided duty that now hangs upon her. But she has absolutely no qualms about the fact that much as she respects her father, she loves Othello. And here is my husband. And so much duty as my mother showed to you in exactly the same way, so much I challenge that I may profess due to the Moor, my lord. So it is her choice. And she has absolutely no sense of guilt about having eloped with the Moor. And that is why, that is what shatters Brabantio. He says, he wishes that he's so grateful that he did not have other children, because this act of Desdemona, of his daughter, would have made him punish the others. So shattered is he by this decision of his daughter. Okay, I think we will stop there. I will, give you a link or something to a video of the scene. You can watch it, and then we'll meet next week. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Was it clear? Was the reading clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.